Hi everybody, it's Julia from Matheson Travel coming to you this week from the Bay Area Travel and Adventure Show. And there's some lovely Fijian music going on behind me. I don't know if you can see them. Fiji is one of the main sponsors of this year's show, and it's been really cool to learn a little bit more about Fiji, especially because I've got some honeymooners thinking about a trip there. But one of the biggest things that I came away with is just how kind of overwhelming it is. I mean, this is not even a very big show. It's a pretty small show, and it's still just booth after booth of people selling trips. There's a deal here, there's a deal there, it's $9.99 here. I mean, there were 4 or 5 different African safari providers. There was, just tons and tons. And, if I came here as a consumer, knowing nothing and just wanting to go on a trip, it would almost be overwhelming. And in fact, one of the speakers, Samantha Brown, who has her own show on the travel show, she was talking about that before the internet. You didn't know anything, but now that you've got the internet, you know too much, and it's so overwhelming. So that was one of the big things that I came away with, is that, thank God there are people like me that work in the industry that can help filter out some of the noise and help you figure out, which deal is actually a good value and which one is really not going to be the kind of experience that you want. The second thing, and the main reason really I kind of came, is to see Rick Steves, who is one of my sort of personal gurus. I really like his travel philosophy, and so I finally got to hear him speak, which was really neat to see him in person, because he is just like he is on the show, which if you go to any of the inns or B&Bs that he recommends, the people, he knows them because he spends 80 days a year on the road, and they'll tell you he's just like he is on the TV shows. And one of the things that I really liked about him is how he talks about getting off the beaten path. And yes, you have to deal with crowds in the Vatican and some of these iconic European spots. But you can also go to the second cities, as he terms it. Instead of just going to Paris, maybe check out Marseille. Instead of just going to Rome and Florence and Venice, go to like the smaller places like Cinque Terre. Get off that beaten path. And then the other thing that he said that I really liked, I like a lot of what he said, but he said to be a cultural chameleon. And what he means is, I'll use his analogy is, he never, after a day at work, at home, up in Seattle where he lives, he never has a glass of ouzo. But if he's in Greece, that's what he wants to do, and that's the thing, That's how you really have the best authentic experiences, is when you really experience what the locals experience. Eat what the locals eat, drink what the locals drink, travel the way the locals travel. G Adventures is here. I loved meeting them and catching up with them. There's all kinds of different partners here that it was so fun to see. Some of my friends from Tahiti were here even too. Hawaii, all kinds of places. But when you work with like the people I work with who really know people and really use local people, local providers, locally owned hotels, that kind of thing, you really get a more authentic experience. And that's really what I think Rick Steves is talking about, is really find an authentic way of travel. And that's obviously what I believe as well. And so that's just it. I just wanted to give you a quick report from the Travel Adventure Show here in the Bay Area. That's it for this week. I'll talk to you next week.